So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're gonna talk about the brand new album by Warbringer called Wrath and Ruin, their first album in 5 years. So, Warbringer is a thrash metal band from SoCal, California. And I've actually seen them live. They played here in Puerto Rico a few years ago, and I really enjoyed them. I don't think they have any album that I would say it's bad. They're very consistent. But I also say that sometimes there's albums from theirs that I've enjoyed more than others. But yeah, this is a band that is pretty solid. Their single, John Cavill, is very charismatic and really harkens to that 80s thrash metal like heyday in his vocal delivery. So this new album has 8 tracks and it's like a 40-minute album affair, and they tackle different themes on this record, every theme from artificial intelligence, free will, and imperialism, which I don't know, seems like themes that you would talk to in 2025. And yeah, the album, it has 8 tracks. They have 3 singles that they released: The Sword and the Cross, A Better World, and the last one was Through a Glass Darkly. So let's talk about the singles first. So the first one that they released was A Better World, and I remember Gojira had a song named pretty similar to that one. So this is a fast, aggressive track, straight to the point. It has some cool riffing. When I first heard it, I thought it was okay. I wasn't blown away by it by any stretch of the means, but with repeated listens to this track, it's grown on me, and especially the drumming. The drumming on this and The Sword and the Cross that begins the album, Carlos Cruz, the drummer, does an amazing job. Really good. So yeah, the other single, The Sword and the Cross, that starts the album, that has a very 80s thrash vibe to it with some modern production. You have at the beginning, you have the sound of a sword, and you feel like this is the perfect song, where you're going into battle and you're playing this track. So yeah, that one I really enjoyed. The other single that they just released, I think a few days ago, Through a Glass Darkly, is a slower track. It has a slower intro, sets the mood, and it really changes the pace of the record. It's the 5th song on the record, and the vocal styles are more like a black metal influence, like in the screeching, to this one. So it makes it a little bit different. And I think even though this is a thrash metal record, they have elements of death metal, black metal, different genres mixed into their thrash metal sound. So other tracks, you have track number 3, Neuromancer. That one has a great bass line to start the record, the song. And the drums on this track are really good. It's a slower track, and it's a good mid-paced track after the first 2 songs that are more fast. Then they go back into fast with the jackhammer, fast and aggressive. And there's a line on that song that I kind of found it funny when they say, "Swing the hammer away." I thought it was a fun line, cheesy, but just the right amount of cheese. Then the tracks that follow Through a Darkly Sky, you have Strike from the Sky. I like really the initial riff on that one. And it has a howling scream that it sounds like his nuts are being crushed, like very King Diamond. And you're like, oh my God, someone's crushing his nuts. Which give it a 80s type of flair to the song. And the song musically, it reminded me of Creator meets Motorhead. Type of vibe to that track. So pretty energetic. Then you have Cage of Air, which has a great cool intro when there's someone's they're talking about society, and it's actually John, someone else from the band, and his wife doing those vocals. I know because I saw the Metal Trees interview, and they go about that on the interview. So if you haven't seen the Metal Trees interview, because sadly I don't know, I sent an email to interview the band, but I never got a reply. So I couldn't interview the band, but if I couldn't interview the band, that's good, because my friend, the Metal Trees, did, and he did an awesome job like always. So I'll put the link somewhere out there so you can watch that interview. So that was a good one. Then the album closes with The Last of My Kind, and that one has like a soft piano intro, and you're like, ah. But then after a few seconds, you get that pummeling thrash metal assault, and you're like, nope, they're not going to let up. But I like the piano intro because it kind of like fooled you into thinking that it was going to be a slower track. And it's a longer track at 6.5 minutes. So yeah, this is a fun album, but also it's fun, but they tackle like relevant issues to today, but they do it in a way that it's not like, it's a good way to learn stuff and like rebel without like coming off as an asshole. So I thought it was enjoyable. Wrath and Ruin. Does it reinvent the wheel of thrash metal? No, it does not. But again, I think it's a solid effort. And I gotta be honest, when I first listened to this record, because I got the promo, I listened to it and I thought it was like just another thrash metal record. But on repeat listens, it's been growing on me. And I don't know, I find some subtleties here and there. And I just think it's very fun. And there's great riffing on this record, like all around. It's pretty consistent record. I wouldn't say that any track on this album is bad. I think every song is pretty solid. And I had a fun listening to this one. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Wrath and Ruin by Warbringer? Comment what are your favorite tracks down below, and if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Chill Dude on the Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.